I asked AI what's wrong with my data, and it actually found more issues than I expected. I know. Here's how I've done it. Data quality is the biggest challenge for data engineers and data professionals in general. As engineers, if your data is messed up, your pipelines will create garbage. You may not even know it's happening, but sooner or later, data analysts will be very angry at you because their reports are showing wrong numbers. So finding these issues quickly is super important. Acceldata invited me to try out their platform and experience their Agentic Data Management solution for this. If you want, you can also play with the platform after the video. I put the link into the description. I went into this from the view of a data engineer or data analyst who's responsible for the data quality. If you are in this position, you know that you typically get hundreds of automated alerts a day telling you that data is broken. In that frequency, the root cause analysis usually takes days or even weeks. So let's face it, the alerts mostly get ignored. But we live in an agentic AI world now. So let's see how Acceldata simplifies this. Right on the dashboard, we can already see some alerts here, but let's first start with the data sources. As you can see, we have a wide variety of data sources here: S3, BigQuery, Snowflake, Databricks, and more. Now let's say an analyst says to you that something is wrong with the transactions in the AWS S3 data. What do? Typically, what you would start doing is to go through all kinds of dashboards and visualizations to find the issue. Of course, you can also do this with Acceldata. I'm going to show a few to you later. But first, I want to focus on the AI conversation interface they built for us. It uses what they call X-Lake Reasoning Engine to not only help with troubleshooting and alerting the right teams, but also recommending actions to mitigate the problem once and for all. It does that through understanding your question and strategically querying the right AI agents like data quality agents, a data lineage agent, and more. The reasoning engine then uses the information from the agents to show you all the details and recommended actions you should take. You can select a few different modes for the conversation interface like executive summary, balanced insight, raw data, or technical deep dive, which actually says it's for data engineers. This way, the output is optimized for the person using it. But let's just stick with the balanced insight here. So after asking your question, the reasoning engine is then doing its magic. In this case, calling a data catalog agent to look at available AWS resources, going through policies, alarms, statistics to find out what's actually going on. This is when we see thinking in the interface. So here, it identified three major problems. One, for customer profile updates, where roughly 14% of the rows are failing due to validation rules we've set. 2 to 10,000 rows, so whew. But that's not what we were looking for. We were looking for something with transactions. That's the second issue it found. Customer trans, multiple execution errors, 83% score, and 33% of all rows are failing. We also have critical execution failure, but let's ignore this for now. As you can see, it tells us what's wrong, missing or invalid values, inconsistent format, and so on. The agent also gives us recommended actions like investigating the latest executions and more. But let's focus on the customer trans issue here. So let's click on the policy. On the top, we can see our quality score of 83% and the failed rows. The left shows you all the executions of this policy. In the middle is our rule that is set for this policy. Currency code needs to be either USD, CAD, or EUR. You can see in the sample results, the currency code here is MXN, which is clearly wrong. So that's exactly what we need to fix. We have all the information and there's no guessing involved now. Let's quickly go back to the AI agent and look at the statistics for the whole file. On the top, we see that the score is falling. We see how fresh the data is and also column details. Again, the reliability score for our currency code is the problem here. Of course, you can also go into Discover Assets and then see all the assets in your system with the policies that you have set. You already see our customer trans issue here on the right. But let's click through the assets for AWS. And in the customer trans file, we see the currency code again. Of course, you can click through reports like this data producer report. See the performance trends and look at the policies. Or look at the policy summaries. But let's be honest, if you have a huge system, this will be a long list. So why click through all these features when you can just ask the AI, right? So exactly, you won't. But we had another problem that we actually just found out with the customer profile updates. So let's quickly look into that. We have a lot of red here, so where's the problem? The regular expression checking, the customer ID looks good, okay. But the tag matching has issues, so let's click on it. Okay, we check if the zip codes are US zip codes, and these here are clearly not. Okay, now we know that as well and can start working on a fix. Sometimes it's good for the fix to just have a quick peek at the data. So I switched the agent to raw data mode and told it to show me data from the user updates table, which it also did. Now that can be super helpful. This kind of conversation interface and agent implementation is exactly what I like. It's here to help you get to the information faster and therefore fix problems quicker. No more clicking around screens trying to find exactly what is going on. What needs improvement right now is the speed of the agent. I'm recording this end of November 25 and the first prompt that showed us the problems took 1 minute, which needs to get quicker. The prompt to show the raw data even took over 3 minutes, which is definitely too long. But let's be honest, the features work, so it's just performance optimization. Another thing, as you've seen, having policies is super important because they really help to identify problems quickly. I first thought, man, going in and doing all the manual work to create the policy seems very time consuming. But Acceldata actually has policy creation workflows that allow you to create policies by using the same conversation interface we used here. Just describe your requirements, drop in documents for context, and again, the X-Lake reasoning engine is going to call the right agents to set up and continuously evaluate the policies. If you want to give Acceldata a try, then check out the link in the description. I also linked the video that shows the policy creation there. So I hope you learned something. See you next time.